mabuhay. And today we're going to be doing something a little different from our normal video. Because you see, this is something a little more personal. I am into cars. I'm a car guy. It's something, I do it for a living. But I've never really scratched that itch wherein I've had a car that I can say is a project car, quote unquote. All the cars that I've driven in my life, or at least that I've owned, meaning what my parents allow me to use, have been, again, their cars. So I couldn't really do anything with them. So I reached a point in my life wherein I thought, I think it's time to scratch that itch. But of course, I can't buy something, or I can't afford to do a full rebuild or a full restoration of a car. I need to be able to use it somehow on a daily basis. And that's why I bought this. That is my 2007 Toyota Camry 2.4G. And today's video is going to be a short walk around of what I got, and at the same time the experience and all the things that I had to go through just to be able to get that car. So let's do it. So let me tell you how exactly I found this car. The first thing I did was I went to the second-hand car lots. There's so many in Metro Manila, so you wouldn't even have a problem looking for them. And to be honest, I found a few strong candidates there, but I didn't want that to be the only place I was looking at, so I went to Facebook Marketplace also. I even looked at Carousel and all of those things, and eventually I settled on this car, which I found on Facebook Marketplace. So before I tell you more about the car, I'll tell you about the experience. What I learned from that is you really have to exhaust all your options. You have to look everywhere, because it's not necessarily the first car you see that's the best choice. Like this car, for example, this was like maybe the fourth, fifth, or even sixth car that I saw that I really wanted. So maybe the car for you, or the right choice, isn't necessarily the first one. So that's the first key learning I got from this whole experience, was exhaust all your options. Again, the first, second, or even third car you see, you may think you want it, but it may not be the one for you. Maybe you're just forcing the issue. Because obviously buying a car is a very, very important investment. You can't just rush it. So you got to think about it really well. You have to make sure that you have to have this gut feeling that the car that you're gonna buy is the car for you. So as mentioned earlier, I found this car on Facebook Marketplace, and what really drew me to it was the story of the car. So the previous owner had bought this off his friend who used it as a coding car. And the previous owner, the person I bought it from, also used it as a coding car. And why that's significant is because of the mileage. For a car this age, 2007, it's only done 54,000 kilometers. And the best part about it was the price, because it was listed actually at 300,000. But because I took the time out to visit the car, and that's another thing I want to tell you guys out there, is as much as possible, if you can, please don't buy a car sight unseen, because you're not sure about the condition of the car. Not all sellers are credible people. I was very lucky that the people I bought this car from are very nice, very good people. They were very honest with me about the things that were wrong with it, and but not much really, because as mentioned, the mileage is very low. So the price was 300,000, and because I went to meet them, look at the car, I was able to befriend them somewhat, and I was able to get the price down to a decent 275,000 pesos for a car. This is a Camry, and I never thought that I would get a Camry in this condition at that price. So that's the story of the car, and that's why I really latched onto it. That gut feeling I was talking about earlier, it rose inside me. So I was like, okay, so this is the car for me. So that's the story of the car. I think now it's time to talk about the condition of the car. So this is the exciting part. So since we're inside, I think it's best that we start with the condition of the interior. And I need to point out first that this generation of Camry, there was a recall in other countries. As far as I know, I'm not sure if they did it here in the Philippines, so don't quote me on that. But in other countries, maybe. It's called the sticky dash issue. So what happens is the dashboard over time, and because we're in a tropical country, or as long as your car sits under the sun, it gets sticky after a while, and then it gets marks, it cracks and all of that. Fortunately, according to the previous owner, he had this changed already. Although when I got it, like the deeper parts here where the sun really hits, some parts here already have like sticky parts and some small bubbles and all of that. So that's one thing you need to watch out for if you're getting a Camry in this generation. But fortunately for me, my dashboard's in relatively good condition. Although I also need to admit that I kinda screwed up just a little bit, because to protect the dashboard, because I am aware of the sticky dash issue and the car has melted tint, I decided to buy a sunshade from, you know, like Blade and all of those things. Although the one I bought was just a tad too big. So when I tried to apply it here and stick it onto the windshield, I scratched my dashboard. So I'll make Kelvin focus on those mistakes that I made later on. But yeah, I made some scratch marks already. But so that I learned from that experience, I bought a leather treatment from an online shop. And luckily for me, it seems to be holding right now. Although I think I need to reapply it every so often just so the dashboard stays in pretty good condition. So that's the dashboard. You need to watch out for that. Other things, this head unit is actually not standard for the Philippines. I don't necessarily know where this came from. Neither does the previous owner, because he's not the one who had it changed. But I have a problem with it right now because the screen is kind of faulty. I can only see the volume, but I cannot see anything else. So I don't know what radio station I'm on. So if I want to move to a radio station, I have to listen to the ads and find out what frequency I'm in. It's 2007, so there's no Bluetooth, there's no nothing. What I did is I bought this FM transmitter and phone charger. So that's how I'm getting by right now, and that's how I'm having my own music. But other than that, I'm very lucky because the whole interior is actually clean, and that's the one thing I needed to make sure of when I bought this car, so that the seats, the leather seats, are fine. There's no tear, and it's not, as mentioned, because this is only a coding car, not a lot of wear in the cushioning areas and all of that. So I'm very lucky with that. So in terms of the interior, I'd say it's about a 7 out of 10. I just need to do a little bit of DIY to get it up to that 10 out of 10. Inside though, no complaints, perfectly fine for daily use. So right now we're gonna try a little DIY fix. So like I mentioned earlier, the screen doesn't work as properly as I want it to be. Obviously I can see, like for example here, you can see the volume. But other than that, there's nothing else shown on the screen. So there's this little reset button up here. So we're gonna use this pen to try and see if anything will happen if I reset it. A lot of things can happen right now. It can get fixed, nothing will happen, or I might make the situation worse. So just root for me. Here goes nothing. Well, nothing happened. The screen is still the same. But I was nervous there, just a little bit of nervousness. But oh well, I tried. Can't say I didn't try. So unfortunately, there really is something wrong with the system here, even if I reset it. So, well, moving on. So this Camry comes with the 2.4 liter gasoline engine. It puts out around 168 horsepower and about 220 Newton meters of torque. It's also paired to a 5-speed automatic transmission. This also came with a V6, although that's for the top of the line variant. I personally, as much as I want a V6, don't think I can afford to maintain, and you know, with the gas prices nowadays. So I'm pretty happy with this unit. There are some things we need to talk about though. This particular engine, they say from the blogs that I've read online that it consumes a high amount of oil. So those are the things I need to watch out for when it comes to this 2.4. But other than that, I think it's okay. I mean, it's fuel efficient enough. I'm doing now in heavy traffic around 7 to 7.5 kilometers per liter. I also need to point out that this Camry has a huge fuel tank, 70 liters. So, well, a full tank's gonna hurt my wallet, but at least I have enough fuel to keep me going for at least, so far I've done about a week and a half to get to half tank. So maybe 2 weeks to finish the whole tank. Not bad, I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, I'm okay with this engine. There's nothing wrong with it as far as I can tell. Maybe if I bring it to some engine person, maybe he'll find something wrong with it. I mean, it's still an old car, even with the old mileage, but other than that, I'm okay. One thing I also need to point out is that this is not a car review. Okay, it just sounds like one, but I felt like I needed to talk about this engine because it's an important part of the car. So yeah, there you have it. I got the 2.4G. Actually, the 2.4G is the entry level. So yeah, entry level, but still a Camry. So now let's talk about the exterior condition of the Camry. Well, I won't show you all the little scratches and all the little nicks and bumps, but there are some. Obviously, this is still an old car, 2007, so there are those little hairline scratches here and there, but overall the paint's not bad. I'd give the whole exterior about 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Come here. I'll show you the things that make it. So you can see here on the side mirror that's faded over there, and if you follow me, actually on the right side, we're not done yet. This panel's completely lost its color. I'm not sure how that happened, but you can see it used to be silver. So there, but other than that, it's fine. But the one thing that really drew me to this car the most are the rims. As you can see, these are not the stock Camry rims. I bought it this way. According to Kelvin, who's a Lexus nerd because he owns a Lexus, these rims came from the Lexus IS350 F Sport. So they add to the whole appeal of the car. At least I kind of stand out compared to other Camrys out there. You can see also that some people were asking me, oh, it's tintless. Actually, it's not tintless. It used to have the factory tint, but OEM tints that come out from the factory, over time, they either turn purple or whatever, bubble up. This one decided to melt away. So that's one of the things I need to address eventually, of course, to protect my dashboard and to protect my aircon and to protect me. So that's something I need to deal with eventually. But exterior wise, I'm happy with it. It's presentable, and that's all that really matters right now. Little by little, I'll fix it and the paint will get fixed eventually. So yeah, it's all good. On another interesting note, one of the reasons why I got the Camry is because it's supposed to be an executive sedan. So you get all this space in the back. Unfortunately, I forgot that I always drive myself and no one drives me. So this is probably the only time you'll see me sitting in the back. But anyway, I wanted to do this video because this is just part one of a very long and very expensive series where I will be fixing this car and will be showing you all the different shops that I go to, all the different people I encounter on the way as I build this Camry from a 7 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. So please stay tuned for that and watch me blow all my money just to get this car to the ideal place I want it to be in, condition I want it to be in. So if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel below, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. This has been Pablo Salapantan with YugaAuto. Thank you for watching. Magastos, paalam, pero magastos and paalam, you get what I mean.